Tulipopata mmea mpya ambaye ni mgeni, tulipata kwa mboka rice. Upande wangu kama mkulima wa Bura, nimeona mchele una faida sana. Nikilinganisha na mimea hiyo ingine ambayo ni ya pamba na mahindi ya Kenya seed na commercial. Na pia mchele, mpunga ni guarantee kuwa ukipanda utapata, si kama mimea hiyo ingine. Kwangu upande wangu nimelima na upande wa kulima mchele huu ni mwaka wangu wa pili. Mwaka jana nilima ekari 3. Nashukuru Mungu mwaka huu nimeongezea ekari zingine 3 nikafikisha 6. Hiyo ni kuonyesha kwamba kuna faida. Ni kwa sababu kama hakungekuwa na faida singeweza kufikisha hizo ekari 6. Kwa hivyo wakulima wenzangu wa Bura Irrigation Scheme nawaomba sana tushikane kwa umoja tuweze kushirikiana tupate huu mchele kwa kiwango cha juu kabisa. Upande wa mchele wa kwanza ambaye ni ekari 3 nilipata gunia 60 na nikatengeneza 1265. 265. Kwa wakati huu ekari 6 nimepita mpaka nusu milioni. Nilifika mpaka 1700.
Eka moja ninapata gunia kuanzia 40. Eka moja na nusu, hapa tunajua eka moja na nusu. Tunapata gunia 45 to 50. Na kwa kila kilo ninanunuliwa na NIB na cereal board kwa shilingi 43 kwa kilo moja. Kwa hivyo gunia moja ya kilo 100 inanipatia 4,300. Na cereal ikininunulia mchele inanipatia, ikipimia mtu ya mwisho inatuwekea pesa kwa simu saa hiyo hiyo. Nimepata pesa sababu mchele wa kwanza ninatoa ile first harvesting, ninaitoa hasara ya ile vitu nimetumia mabolea nini, na ninabakia na shamba moja eka moja na nusu inanibakishia almost 170,000. Na iko na ratun ile ya pili. Hiyo ni faida tupu na nitafuna kama vile nilifuna mwanzo. Area tuko na wakulima kama 200 hivi kwa acreage 2500 upande wa agro, lakini kwa kila kijiji saa hii tunaona hakuna kijiji saa hii hakina eka 18 to 36 acres. Wengine wako na 72 acres, wengine wako na 140 acres wanapanda nini? Mchele. Na ni kumaanisha ya kwamba tunaendelea tukipiki sababu kulianza mtu mmoja.
The gap between rice production in Kenya and consumption is very huge. We are only producing about 11% of what we consume. So it means that 89% of what we are consuming is actually being imported. For example, in the year 2020 to 2021, the rice consumed in this country was around 730,000 metric tons. And this means that we only produce 80,000 metric tons. Therefore, the rest of the 650 metric tons was actually imported. For us to be able to have this gap reduced, we need to have strategic interventions. Some of these strategic interventions which we need to have is, for example, embracing improved high-yielding rice varieties. We also need things like good agronomic practices for rice production. Mechanization is also very important, and the expansion of our irrigation schemes in the country. Together with the International Rice Research Institute, CARO has used what we are calling the on-farm trials, what you can see here, the on-farm trials, and we are also using farmer field days. And the main objective here is to promote these varieties. Now, within our OFTs, we have already the released varieties, for example, the Komboka and the 08 Fan 10. The 08 Fan 10 was released in 2020. Komboka was released back in 2013, but promotions we started in 2020 in October. Now, we also have other varieties which are the national performance trials. These varieties are also very high yielding, and we also have candidates for the national performance trials. The reason why we are having the on-farm trials is for us to be able to expose these varieties to the farmers, to popularize them, so that we increase adoption of these varieties. With this variety, it is highly maturing, although it is not aromatic, but the grain type is the long one, broad one. Now, the reason why farmers want this variety is that the variety If it matures within 85 days after transplanting. Now, from transplanting to maturity, it only takes about 90 to 105 days. And that is why farmers in Bura really want this variety. And actually, they have dumped it Mkombozi, because it's a variety which actually matures very early. So we are anticipating that within the next 1 or 2 years, the seed will be available. We are having a huge gap between rice production and consumption in Kenya. And the current varieties which are being grown by the farmers cannot be able to solve this problem. So we are encouraging our farmers actually to embrace the high-yielding, the improved varieties, which are already in the market. The seed is available with us. It is also available with other distributors, such as the National Cereal Board. So we are really encouraging our farmers, if you really want to do business, you can do business with these high-yielding varieties. At the same time, we'll be feeding our nation with what we grow in our country.
Currently, we produce around 15% of what we consume. That means the rest of the production, the rest of the consumption, we are importing. About 2020, about 25 billion was spent to import rice. So from 2008 to 2018, we under a 10-year strategy to look at what are the challenges and what can we do to close that gap. So that period we wanted to double the production, which was around 50,000 metric tons. And by the end of it, yes, we managed to even triple up to 150,000 metric tons, but we did not close the gap because the gap continues to grow exponentially every year. So from 2019, we have now a strategy that runs for another 10 years up to 2030, the National Rice Development Strategy 2019 to 2030, and it's available on online. We are targeting to be self-sufficient or to move towards self-sufficiency in this crop. That means we need to put in a lot of interventions which are already proposed in the strategy. One is increasing the area under rice production. We need to increase productivity. We need to improve our irrigation infrastructure. The good thing is we have a big area in the country that can produce rice. We have about 24 counties where rice can be produced comfortably.